Hello everybody, thank you for tuning in to another Starcraft 2 broadcast. Today we're going to kick off a very special best of 3 match series between Liquid Sheth, spawning as the blue Zerg in the top right position, facing off against EG.HuK, now of Team Evil Geniuses, in the bottom left as the red Protoss. This is, of course, my continuing coverage of the North American Battle.net Invitational. I forgot exactly which game series this is. I think it's near the end, but I don't have the chart in front of me. But I will tell you, it's a very fun match series. I did watch it live, and I'm very happy to be bringing this to you now. So, down here, we have EG.HuK opening up with this pylon at the top of the ramp. Very typical. What I would like to see from EG.HuK this game would be some air aggression. We've seen this from him before, particularly in the Idra games that we just watched a little while ago. I think that this map would lend itself well to that style of play, seeing as how it's a little bit more of a direct path between these two bases. It's easier to predict where the overlords will be hanging out. Of course, you're almost always going to have one right here because it is fairly easy to keep it away from the stalkers that'll be running around the sides, but also pretty much you're guaranteed to have them somewhere in this path right here, kind of where there's already been scouting done by the probe that headed up there. So of course EG.HuK continuing on with his pressure coming right out of the gate, already going for the mineral line harassment, and Sheth opening up with that very conservative metabolic boost upgrade. I'm really not surprised that we're seeing Sheth open with this. He knows that EG.HuK is an extremely aggressive player, and having this metabolic boost early will allow Sheth to not only effectively deal with harassment that could come from EG.HuK, but also allow him to put some pressure on EG.HuK's own base. So we're going to be looking to see how that turns out exactly. Likewise, down here before, like I said, air pressure would be a good thing. And I think we're already kind of leaning towards that possibly with that second gas going down before the cybernetics core. We've seen this to great effect in previous games, so we'll watch and see what happens as time goes by. Now, I do have one quick important announcement. For those of you who've been following me on my Facebook for a while, you already know this, but as of last night, I now have a Twitter account. You can find that account link in the video description down below. It's very simple, twitter.com/Anaris, and all kinds of good stuff is going to be posted up there. I think what I'm actually going to be doing is possibly announcing a giveaway or two here in the coming weeks. I think I'm going to go out and see about buying I don't know, maybe a video card or something, and doing a giveaway for that. So we'll see. You'll have to follow me on Twitter though if you want to actually have the details on that. So a little bit of an incentive for you there. Go check that out. In the meantime, there is of course talk of cake, pants, and other various things that are well, awesome. So click that link when you're done with the video. For now, let's pay attention to what we have here. We have, okay, very typical wall off from EG.HuK. He's going to be continuing to chrono boost out that warp gate technology. Now, I'm thinking we're probably going to see him go into an expansion next here, since he is going to be going one gate, early gas here, and we've also got the probe heading out. What's he going to do? He's got about 300 minerals or so. Okay, he is going to be dropping 3 gates, so I still think we're going to see that expansion play here. Just, I mean, again, he's going to be going double gas, very sentry heavy, no Stargate. That gas has got to go somewhere. Sentry's obviously very good for defensive style of play, which would coincide with that expansion. So Sheth up here, you see he's transferred the drones back off of gas onto the minerals. He's got that metabolic boost upgrade now complete, and he's already got the Zerglings down here trying to harass. Now, EG.HuK, of course, is dropping down a pylon over here, pretty much hoping to extend the choke point, make it pretty easy to defend. It's actually quite nice having that down there, but with those Zerglings continue to harass, you see EG.HuK is not able to move on with the next phase of his plan, which you see right now, he is almost at 400 minerals. He wants to drop that expansion, isn't quite able to, though. We look up and see 12 additional Zerglings on the way for Sheth as EG.HuK continues to try to press out here. You see he's actually making this probe at least pay for the fuel that he has expended trying to get down there and drop that Nexus. Of course, EG.HuK, seeing that Overlord, wants to come up and pop that off here. With more Zerglings on the way, Sheth is really committed to keeping EG.HuK from this expansion, delaying it for as long as possible. Obviously, Sheth is not going to really be able to stop HuK. Once he comes down, you see he's already got a couple additional Stalkers, several sentries, and forcing HuK to be supply blocked as well, so both players were actually blocked for a moment or two. Sheth with the quick recovery, popping off a few additional Overlords there, and now dropping a Roach Warren. So very interesting indeed. Good call moving these Zerglings back. He knows, again, trying to win a direct engagement with all these sentries and Stalkers up here, not going to work out very well. But we see that that's where HuK has been dumping his gas right now. Worked out to great effect so far, with Sheth actually trying to burn down this Nexus. Will he do it? 100 hit points. Oh man, so very close. But to no avail. Sheth, very good attempt though. I have to say, good unit control, handled that very well. Didn't really lose a whole lot. So now we're going to see HuK actually try to continue to bait him back here. Oh man, he does manage to do that on some perfect force fields, blocking off the Zerglings from running away, forcing Sheth to lose a lot of those early harassment units. And now we see actually HuK could be going on the offensive now that he has a few additional Stalkers. Of course, we could see the resources lost so far, and the APM 247 to 121 income as a result of all this delaying is very sexy for Sheth. You see he's 40 to 31 right now. Definitely shows in the minerals. Only working on one geyser right now, but again, really, that's all he needs. He's also got this macro hatchery going down, which I'm thinking he's going to be going for producing a bunch of those low-tier units. You know, 2 base with the macro hatchery, you're probably not going to be looking at quite as much gas to spend on those tech styles of play. So something like Roaches, possibly Hydras later on down the road, be something to keep an eye out for now. But look at this, Force Wheels going down, blocking some of those units for Sheth. Also, the poor Roach here on the mid-ground just isn't quite able to cut it. He was able to pop off a Zealot kill, though. But HuK's army is looking very weak here, not quite able to get the results that he wanted, is going to actually lose this army. Looking at the units lost now, you can see it is still neck and neck. So the income was definitely hurt. You see a lot of workers were lost by Sheth there, 13 to be exact. So very nicely handled. Kicking it back on even terms here as HuK continues to expand back down with his own probe transfer here, looking pretty good in that regard. Of course, we're seeing the Zerg economy adjust back up to previous levels there, as the Protoss will be kind of evening out here in a moment or two as the probes start kicking the mineral per minute average even higher. But now we can see that HuK is continuing on with the gateway builds. He only has 3 3/4 gateways. Okay, there's the 4th one popping in right now. We also do have one probe getting ready to drop down a pylon possibly up here. Ooh, going to be going for one up here instead. A little bit more out of the way. Good call in that regard, as we do have Sheth. Looks like he's going to be sending out a few Overlords, as slow as they are, across the map. Still going into Tier 2, working on that, about 80% complete, focusing on getting a few additional Roaches as well. But, you know, HuK down here, very smart move. He is getting a robotics facility. He doesn't have his 4th gas capped just yet, so I think if he were to get some Immortals, that would be an extremely good call. We do actually have that Observer coming out right now. That also is going to be an essential unit to have going forward here. As you see, the Zerg is already working on spreading the creep down to this watchtower, looking to secure that position. Of course, when that Observer gets out, HuK will be able to pop off some of those tumors here. But with Burrow on the gray, I started reading the G in that word right there. Burrow on the way, plus the Roach speed, I think that Sheth is going to be in a really good spot here. He's got the Zerglings, which are basically like the Zerg force fields. Call them basically the bitchlings, because that's what they do. They just get in there and they say, no, you're not moving anywhere but wherever I want you to. And that's pretty much all there is to it. But for now, we have HuK continuing up here to press forward, taking out the creep tumors, again trying to deny Sheth that vision, that security of knowing what's coming here. It's going to be dropping ever so slowly, but HuK, he's still riding on these gateway forces, man. And we see here from the units tab that Sheth has 13 Roaches, 23 Zerglings, which you could see right here are trying to take down those proxy pylon, but with a few Zealots warping in, that's going to put a quick stop to that. The second pylon was taken out right there, though, and Sheth looking like he's, oh man, trying to look for an escape route, denied by HuK. Of course, that Observer there spots those continuing to run away, so the Zealots will be able to meet up with the rest of the group and continue on their merry way, while HuK continues to press forward, taking out, again, Overlords, looking to supply block Sheth here. Oh, Force Field's going down, blocking off as few of those Zerglings from escaping, but they're going to work against those Zealots here as the Protoss is going to be walking into a wall. Oh, nice Force Field's placed there at the last second. keeping those roaches perfectly in place. HuK able to deal with those, but the problem is he's really low on energy now. The last bits of energy were just expended basically trying to secure HuK's getaway move, as you see Sheth now bringing in even more roaches. 9 roaches right now. Immortal is on the way just about here. He will absolutely need to keep that safe if he wants to have a hope of securing the game moving into the later stages here. I don't know if that's going to be possible. We see even now those roaches are pressing forward. Oh, that poor roach not quite able to get out there. Burrow, whoa, that was a clutch burrow, man. Let me just tell you. So as far as resources lost, now you see Protoss definitely not sitting in such a great spot. He does have 1 Immortal, though. This really will help delay the attack that could be coming from Sheth here. You see he does not quite have the ability to move while Burrow just yet, but still the fact that he's going to have that extra health regen moving forward in this game. We do have an infestation pit on the way. 3rd base going down and a little bit afterwards, and now Sheth looking to be maybe possibly moving out here. Oh, but look at this. The Immortal is way out in front. Definitely not something you want to have happen. It will get focused down. Oh, that is a tremendous loss for HuK there, as he is now forced into this choke position. Very easy to defend with the force field, but he has lost so much there. He needed those double Immortals there. He is working on a second one. A now second one, was 3rd for like a second or two. But again, with the Immortal taking the lead, it is going to get focused down by Sheth. Fantastic placement, and oh man, I really don't see HuK coming back from this now. The loss of these units just absolutely brutal. The mineral line getting annihilated. More forces on the way for Sheth, and this is looking more and more like we're going to see a GG here in just a second. Sure enough, there we go. Finishing up this game here. Even had the pathogen glance upgrade on the way. If the Roachling play could not finish it off, I think the fungal growth certainly would have, as HuK was essentially forced into these defensive positions that are just so vulnerable to that fungal play with these Stalkers and Immortals running around here. So, thank you guys for watching. Game number 1 has been brought to quite an interesting conclusion. Let's go on to game number 2 and see if Sheth is going to be able to hold on to the victory, or if HuK's going to make a comeback and push it into game number 3. And of course, if you like these videos, please thumbs up and subscribe. It helps me out a ton if you do that. And follow my Twitter of Cake.